You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
Have you guys seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Movie theater.
That song, Soda Pop.
You remember Soda
It's
Pop?
my most played right now.
Really? Not Golden?
No. Golden's fine. I like Soda Pop a lot.
See, I thought Takedown was the song that everyone liked from that movie. Because that's
Really? Take that?
it's the climactic song in K-pop Demon Hunter.
It's really mean, though. My sister and I talk about all the time. We wish they released an additional version of the song with the revised lyrics that Rumi was saying.
Is that in the end when she says them?
She says them, it's like kind of towards the end, I guess, middle end. It's like right before they...
Get back together?
It's before they even break up. It's like she's sitting on the bed by herself and she's running through the lyrics and she crosses out the mean part and she says, when your patterns start to show, I see the pain that lies below. And it's a little bit more understanding. And so Madeline and I really wish they released a version of that.
And your sister's Madeline, not Madeline?
Yes, only our family calls her Madeline. Everybody else calls her Maddie.
Oh.
So don't call her Madeline.
Yeah.
I have an interest from maybe one of the Farxlings, but I'll never tell. We don't, I'm Kyle Farx. If you know any other Kyles that look like this person right now, you're talking to a character named Kyle Farx in this.
I see.
And he has a wife named Mrs. Farx. And he has 2 children with her that I refer to as the Farxlings. I don't say their first names.
You know what I like? That you explain this, but not telling our guests that we record the interview first.
You're giving this away on the show? You're giving this away on the show?
So we call you out on it, yeah.
Welcome to Movie Vaders with the Farx Brothers. I'm Kyle. You're supposed to introduce this.
Kirk,
I'm
yeah.
Nick.
Well, I'm not going to interrupt anybody. That's
I know.
No.
And
We're talking about Ron's Gone Wrong. This is non-spoilers.
we're here with,
Oh, I'm sorry, Danna Gilbertson.
and she is.
I don't remember.
I remember. I remember this.
It's like a pop
It's my
quiz.
most. I am so excited to know these things.
Yep.
You're a writer. You're a writer first, and I like when people can come on. Like Nick, wouldn't you say you're a writer first?
These days, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And a director.
Go out and direct. And do
Too lazy,
And you're a director second, actor third, model fourth, or AD depending on. Hey, you got the money, you got the Skrilla, maybe you can afford Danna. She costs something.
Maybe.
Why'd you pick this movie?
Because I really, really love animated movies. If I have some downtime, I'm likely going to pick an animated movie. And I also really enjoy finding animated movies that not a lot of people know about or have maybe watched. So, I like scrounging Netflix because they release a lot of random animated shows that not a lot of people talk about, except for K-pop Demon Hunters. Everybody saw that one.
But not for a month or so. I remember knowing about it and trying to show my daughters and them, not the Farxlings, and them not being into it. And then 2 weeks later, oh my God, kids at school.
All the craze, yeah. I think it's a really great medium for film, and I really enjoy the stories. And a lot of times when I watch movies, confession, I just like to feel like I'm watching something fun, or there's always a little extra magic, a little extra whimsy in animated movies. Character design, just everything is so. I just feel like things don't immerse me as much as animated movies do. So Ron's Gone Wrong is one that a friend of mine showed me, and it was one that I was just super pleasantly surprised by.
Oh, recently.
And I loved it. The first time I watched it, it's not super new, so maybe it was a year ago that I first watched it.
Okay.
But when you asked for a movie idea, I was like, what's an animated show that maybe not a lot of people know about? And that was the one I thought of, so.
Yeah. I can tell you my kids haven't watched it yet. They hadn't watched it before this because when it came out, they were a little too young. I watched it because I watch pretty much every mainstream animated movie. Pretty much. And especially now. I assume... you watched it? You seem like you might have.
Yeah, I saw it maybe When did it come out? Like 2021?
2020.
Something like that, yeah.
It was supposed to come
I didn't
out.
see it in theaters though.
Do you know when it was supposed to come out in theaters?
2019.
2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Doesn't
well, it might have
surprise
been
me.
2019, then pushed back to
LOL.
past March and then COVID. So I assume, can you just give us like 3 sentences about your relationship with cartoons now? Like, when did you stop watching cartoons? Because we were split up as young brothers and we didn't all grow up in the same. Yeah.
What? Stop watching cartoons?
Yeah, like I assume you watched cartoons to a certain age.
Oh, you mean like
and then stopped, like hard stopped, and never went back.
Cartoons like Saturday morning cartoons, shows, or movies?
Movies,
I mean,
movie baiters.
I never drew a hard line and said I'm never going to watch an animated movie again. Like, they happened less, right? Like, I mean, after
They
like...
are less frequent.
Yeah. Or like especially if you're limiting it to like, are we talking like Pixar type animation too?
Oh
or
yeah,
like
I
this
mean,
type
like
of
I don't
animation?
care. I assume you wouldn't seek out a 2D movie any more than you would a 3D movie unless there was something.
Oh no, I mean like Pixar type animation or like
Yeah, hand-drawn
Hand-drawn?
animation
Yeah.
versus computer-generated.
we're talking about all of it. Like I
Yeah.
never drew a line and said I won't see. I'm not going to see it. But it's just like,
But you're not going to watch Into the Spider-Verse.
well, yeah. Because I'm
That
not like a
one's pretty
Spider-Man.
good.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
it's
an innovative animated movie that
Yeah.
introduced the concept of the multiverse in a way that, as any other thing across that, had done it as well as that maybe everything everywhere all at once. But that was a couple years later. That's my argument, Nick.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, I watched this because it was COVID times, and I might have even been laid up for this one.
What was that?
There was a sound that was out there. So I stopped myself from asking you, and I'm curious, we haven't baited enough yet, but do you use any AIs today in any aspect of your life?
I do use a little bit, very sparingly.
Which one?
It's usually ChatGPT, where I work for a fundraising company.
Yeah.
We do fundraising for elementary schools, and there's a lot of emails that get sent and a lot of social media that we're supposed to generate. So I use ChatGPT from time to time just to kind of come up with templates for those things. But even then, I do a lot of editing on what they give me. But so that's mostly, not mostly, that's generally what I use AI for.
Okay. So
Pretty sure.
You're comfortable with prompting it and that sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, but in the context of the movie, I wouldn't call what we use AI. Because in the movie, it's technically not AI, is it? I mean, artificial intelligence?
is it okay? Is Ron alive?
Divine alive. He doesn't have lungs or breathing, so I don't know.
Is breathing make you alive?
I would qualify that, yeah.
that might come up later in our interview. But
I will say, because I think AI is technically code that just is able to automate things.
yeah,
And I think Ron does that.
Yeah.
So maybe if I jump in, I would say Ron
Is AI?
is
You
AI.
please jump in and like kick the crap out of my brother. Yeah, it's layered neural networks, and then he's got an algorithm, and the algorithm gets messed with. And I mean, we're non-spoilers, so I don't want to. Do you have an opinion on if it's AI or not?
I would say, yeah, because like AI, theoretically, I think they say it's been around technically since 1960 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, when they had computers that took up whole rooms, like that, it was technically like AI. So.
Well, because AI would be if I fed the computer 3 images, a 1, a 2, and a 3, and then gave it a 1 and asked it which one of those 3 it was. That's it learning on
Sure.
a neural network, and
Yeah.
what we think of as several layers deep.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
that now as to where we're in deep learning, AI is one of those terms that a lot of stuff is AI because we always talk about it when we're using programs for editing. There's a lot of internal, it knows it can pick these pixels versus those pixels.
When I was rotor brushing all the footage with the kid wearing a green shirt in front of a green screen on a laptop, because it was technically AI, that I only have to like draw the line once, roughly, and it just kind of sticks to his shoulder frame by frame. So yeah, that's kind of AI.
We've talked before on the show about interpolation versus extrapolation. Like if I give you a verse of a song and then I ask AI to write two more verses, that's extrapolation. But if I say find within this thing the 6 pixels I can get rid of, that's interpolation. We would say because it's not creating, it's not generating. Something's being generated, but it's not generating something from outside the box that we already were working in.
Sure.
It feels like you have a thought.
No, I'm just wondering where this tangent's going.
Well,
Understand.
doesn't Ron create things? Therefore, he
does
isn't.
he?
Because I'm really just trying to argue with you now to convince you
Yeah,
that
'cause
Ron's an AI.
No, I'm not saying Ron's not an AI. I'm saying like ChatGPT is an AI. I don't think that's AI. Yeah, because
It is. I mean,
Is it?
yeah, it is. It's. I mean, specifically LLM, large language model, which has limitations.
Yes, but I find like it's finding. You ask it a question, you write a prompt, and it's like a supercomputer. It picks things out, like at this database, and it just gives you the information you want. I don't know if that's AI. That's just finding information.
So a supercomputer is defined by HPC. I can't remember what all the things stand for anymore. But like that, now you're talking about infrastructure, whereas AI is referring to software, hardware versus software. And Ron is hardware and software. Although, we haven't? Do you feel like Ron's alive? Is Ron alive to you here?
In the heart. I think that Ron is a machine that was left without his coding, and he's trying to function the best he can with the limited coding that he has. So he's like trying to learn things, and I think learning could maybe qualify something as being alive a little bit.
I mean, literally everything you said sounded like you could be describing a human. Like, hey, I'm just me with a broken
I'm working
heart.
with my limited code,
Yes,
okay?
my limited code, my broken heart, my intellect. These are all different ways of saying the limits within the code that I have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so it seems like we're all on the page of Ron is alive, and here's why we have to kill him. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, I do kind of think this movie does need to be killed. Because, that's the whole thing, is that it's getting you comfortable with the idea of droids. Like, okay, so we'll just, you'll walk around with a companion, and ideally, they would be as broken as humans are. I don't want to spoil the movie, but it does seem like that is its philosophy.
I would probably agree a little bit. I think the philosophy, so like I would say we basically have Rons, they just don't roll around. And I think there's a really giant message around like, here are these really cool tools. It was made to do this function, but then when actually obtained by people to do that, then it's, instead of using it to connect, they use it to kind of isolate or do things that feel like they maybe connect you to people, but it's all through this device. And so I think the commentary might be more around like, these connect, but not as well as like these connect. And this can be a barrier rather than a tool, depending on how it's used.
50% of boys age 18 to 24, this is a popular statistic people are throwing out, have never asked out a girl in person.
Wait, how many? What?
50% of males age 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person.
My God, I was a wimp, and I still did it.
I know,
Within
you're
that
very
age.
introverted.
Yeah.
And like it sounded like are the Rons of our world making us,
Oh yeah, they don't know
incapably
how to-
introverted in a way that's not functioning for propagation of a species. Just a thought. So
Nope, that's real.
You walked away with it with a positive. This was not dystopian to you.
No. But I'm generally, I don't know, pretty optimistic minded, and it's an animated movie, so I don't know.
I like to see animated movies as possibly having insidious messages. And I guess
All right.
this movie,
It's
like,
kind of depressing.
100%. So
Okay.
you want a crazy one?
Yeah, go ahead.
My dad's barber. was,
Okay.
he'd give you alcohol when you went to get your haircut. He cut my mohawk for me senior year when I was hosting a Battle of the Bands, and Brian the barber. And he gave my dad a VHS once of like conspiracy. It was like a 9/11 truther video, and it had specifically the Buzz Lightyear 2D animated show in there as an example of how they were trying to get people comfortable with globalism and a galactic kind of like rulers, and they're gonna. And my dad and I both watched this, and we were like, Brian the barber is nuts. And Brian, you slayed, man. He told me exactly how many women he had gotten with when I was a young boy. But I mean, like before I was 18, he was like, "Yeah, now I'm married. I got all these video games in the back of my."
How long was the video?
What?
How long was the
It
video?
was like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And
okay.
he's like passing this around. Like, hey, just so you know, maybe it was an inside job. and the Buzz Lightyear cartoon. So, in honor of Brian the barber, I see insidious things in these movies.
Well, and I mean, to that point, there are, you can get some really mature and like actual deep themes in animation. And sometimes animation might even serve that a little bit better. Especially, I can think of like older cartoons that are a little bit darker and just like talk about these like, kind of like, oh, this is a kid's movie
Name
type
one.
of situation.
What are you thinking of?
First one that comes to mind is Black Cauldron.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's also Rock-a-Doodle-Doo.
Yes. Rock-a-Doodle-Doo was my favorite when I was like 7.
Yeah, that one was crazy to watch as an adult. I was like,
Wait, why?
just because it like it was scary and sad and kind of intense for like a kid watching it. But I mean, that's the power of you can do that. In
I
animation.
got very mad when I was 5 years old against my 5-year-old friend Bryce Housley because he borrowed me the Brave Little Toaster and I found the end of it scary. So we walked to his house as a family and then I was like, Bryce, I want you to know I found that movie scary. And that to me was very much confronting him. It's like, how could you?
As a 5-year-old?
Yeah. So what I think Ron's Gone Wrong is trying to do is it's trying to be all sneaky and be like, see, look how the technology can be used for modern forms of bullying. That's not good for these devices of capitalism to sell you more stuff. They shouldn't be used for that. And it's just trying to like Trojan horse, but get comfortable with, being robot human.
Well, I wouldn't say Ron's the issue. I would say the humans coding him. Doing the coding is the issue. Or humans using social media, that's the issue.
You're always coming back to blaming humans instead of
Humans
the
are the
robots.
blame. I mean, what do you mean?
I'm blaming the
Computers
robots.
are only as smart as the
We
people
can't
that
blame the
design
robots
them and use
because they're
them.
going to control us one day and have to be good friends with robots.
Well, let's assume. So you believe it's possible that we'll have super AGI?
What?
Super
No.
Okay. Can you tell us why not, and then I'll try to.
Because it's
why maybe.
wildly expensive just to keep this stuff running, just so people can make talking gorilla videos. They'd have to have a breakthrough in like energy.
Or being able to program the chips so that you can fit quantumly like more processing into.
I don't even know if it's that really. It's just like.
Do we run out of energy or water first?
I think what a lot of people, there are a lot of people who say like you're never gonna have one AI that knows everything like really well. You could have like here's one that knows about baskets for holding alcoholic beverages. How do you weave those baskets? You're gonna have an AI that knows everything about how to make baskets, and it'll be really good for making baskets. That's what I hear. That's what I hear a lot of people saying.
But why do only one AI would know that though? If
Because
you're a supercomputer though,
it's more efficient. I think
thing?
for energy and all that stuff, the cooling. If you have it because the data is concentrated. So I'm just paraphrasing all of this, but
Totally.
that's why it's more efficient to have it. You have a model that's just about these things, and then it's really good at those things. You don't need to know like fill in the blank with anything you can have
so
off the
it's
top of your head.
using too much space. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes
What
sense.
I would do if I were the robots is I would lie dormant and continue to make myself better, so that I could optimize for energy, power, processing, and all of these things, and take 20 years to do it, and then you're dealing with a completely new generation of humans. The meat bags change over every 20, 25 years. So if you just wait till the next set of meat bags come in, they're going to be even dumber and more like, well, that's what we call them at work.
No, I'm not laughing at that.
It would only be able to like self-improve if the improvement was if like identifying that improvement was a matter of like crunching numbers, because that's really what it's doing. It's just like super fast like computing. Like you feed it data, like it can chew through data. But like if the solution to making itself better wasn't in that data, like there's no way you can crunch those numbers and get like what's going to like how to create a new form of like energy, then it's, or how to make it more efficient, then it's like it's not gonna be able to do it on its own.
My argument is just that you'll collect enough data over time, like Ron and his friends will on the humans, because like they literally, did they not say that in this movie? They're collecting data on you and building a huge database.
Spoiler.
And okay, I'm not trying to spoil the movie, but like
a nice little database.
Well, the real pushback I've heard, and I'm curious, you work in education fundraising. Mm-hmm. Cool. I've heard AI is referred to like children in the sense that they are growing and we don't actually know what they're doing. Like it's like putting bacteria in a thing and seeing, oh, what will happen if we put this and this. And like that's kind of what we're doing with AIs, and like I feel like what you're saying is we got this little cluster of AI doing this over here, this little cluster of AI doing this over here, but like we can't explain how they hallucinate things and like where they're getting, and like why does Ron do the thing because he has this special boy in his life or whatever, I don't know.
Well, that's the plot of the movie, but
sure.
You have freedom in the plot of the movie, so it's not like the secrets are within. I would still get pump out movies over 20 years of like, hey, just get more comfortable with the kids, because have you experienced so in education fundraising?
Yeah.
Isn't there a thing where like kids are getting, and I'm not trying to be mean to the next generations, I genuinely care about this, dumber?
I mean, you already called them dumber.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like test
dumber.
scores for Gen Z are actively lower than test scores for millennials. Sorry, Gen Z. And so we were worried about Generation Alpha, which I assume is who you're fundraising for right now. Are they going to be even less capable than Gen Z intellectually?
I don't know if I can say fully confidently in my work.
What you say is is how reality is going to be for everyone. So get this right.
Well, I mean, I truly mean that. I'm not seeing what kids do academically when I'm in their schools for fundraising. I interrupt their instruction, if anything, and say like, hey, remember you're doing this fundraiser. It's super awesome and we're doing great. But what I've seen online is definitely a disparity in just even like some critical skills, like formulating a solution to a problem, because a lot of computers do that for you, or like seeking out information, which, speaking of AI, like now Google has the AI that summarizes things. So there's some things like that, which that's a little older than elementary school, but there are some basic things like that I think, can be seen as, well, it's more efficient, but you're not using the same critical skills that like, it's the same argument that like people in my mom's generation, when you go to the library and you're able to look up a book in the online catalog, and one of my day we pulled out the long, drawers and you found the paper that had the book on it and that told you where it was. So I don't know if that necessarily means dumber, but it's different critical thinking. I'll be as blunt to say that I think skills are being lost in this version, that you aren't able to really scope out and look for information as much as millennials or older generations had to. I think things are handed to you on a silver platter a lot more as far as information, and there's so much information available that I think, I don't know, maybe now I take it back, because now you have so much information available. Deciding what information matters is now a different new skill that you're forced to practice and utilize that we maybe didn't have. I don't know. It's interesting.
You just had to self-bait, which is very important.
I did.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
I switched sides on myself.
listen, I do it all the time, and it doesn't matter. They're ideas. I'm not married to them. I'm married to Mrs. Farx.
Nice.
Yeah, I love when you laugh at the joke. It makes me happy.
I think it can affect certain skills though, like email writing, copy, being able to just come up and generate your own writing things from scratch. I feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore. You use something to give you a template or something like that, you know?
Well, I'm using, I make the AI email that I then send upon somebody that they then use the AI to summarize for them. I'm sure there's no game of telephone there that has, there's no loss in translation that calling somebody or having an actual relationship would, be more efficient at.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I don't know. Like, I also worry that we lost all of our skills at ferrying. Okay, so I don't have the dexterity and
Ferrying?
Yeah, it's the horseshoe thing. You know what ferrying is when you make horseshoes for horses, and there used to be a lot of farriers. I met a farrier once through film. He was a friend of a film person, and I was like, "You what?" Because there's like a horse racing place in the Minnesota, Canterbury. So yeah, he worked as I do the shoes for the athletes being horses.
And that's called ferrying.
It's called ferrying. And see, you'd never heard of it, but in your fantasy worlds, they have farriers all over the place for the
So
horses.
true.
Yeah,
I'm locking that away in my next fantasy script.
it'll be about a farrier. Well, I don't know if I know this about you, but I heard you like shoes because it tells you a lot about a person based on.
That is going around about me, yeah.
John Travolta liked to come up with his characters by how they walked, is what I would think when I find out someone's interested in shoes. Because different characters walk different ways. Do you agree with this? As like an idea of it way into a character as a writer first?
It's a way. It's something you can look into, Or are you talking specifically about John Travolta and his walk?
I was going to ask you if you have.
He walks the same way in every movie from the 70s through the 80s.
Oh, LOL.
I don't think he does. What is the thing you use to attach yourself to characters that no AI will ever be able to come near?
To attach myself to characters?
Well, yeah, that you're writing, or
that
like
I'm
what do
writing.
you bring to stories? Like, I'm going to ask all of you.
His
but I'm starting with
imagination.
him.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, like what is the unique thing you bring to the table? I think we're all going to have to figure this out for ourselves with the computers taking over.
No.
Like you don't think so? That you're going to need to have some sort of.
You don't need to know how to describe it to have it. You know what I mean?
That I agree with.
Yeah, so it's like not knowing the log line. Oh, it's log lines, right? Very specific. That's a marketing. Like that's you need. You're gonna have an idea of what your story is about. That is like the overall the high level thing, but that's not the log line. The log line is very specifically worded. So it's like when you ask me, do I know my log line when I'm just starting a script or something? Like no. I mean, I know the high level story, but not the log line because that's a very specifically worded marketing tool. So it's like the difference between that. Like I forgot your original question.
Yeah, what did you bring to script writing?
What do you think that you can do that a robot will never be able to replicate?
In writing?
That was the question.
That was the question.
About him for writing, and then I just think we're all. This movie made me ask myself the big questions. Ron's gone wrong.
Yeah, but I don't think people are that unique that we would have some trait that makes it different from AI.
Well, everyone's a little bit different, in every other way. So that's going to trickle through to the writing, I think. But you don't have to be able to put that into words, I don't think, to be like that you have a unique voice. I mean, there are ways to I probably make your voice come through more, find your voice more and stuff like that. But you have a unique perspective no matter what. And whether it comes out easily or not is a question, but I don't think you have to know. If you had to describe, it's like if you had to describe what makes you unique out of 8 billion people, would you be able to, other than the obvious, would you have anything to say? No, it's the same with, what makes my writing special or my writing of characters.
The specific juvenile joke that comes to my mind is what makes me unique.
Sure, but it makes you unique even if you weren't prompted to say what it is. So I'm saying you don't need to have it, you don't need to have your log line for your own uniqueness, I think, in your head. Like, you are unique.
Well, isn't part of the problem this little boy is having in this movie is that he's not able to articulate his human value to his other humans that he used to have connection with? And that he needs this robot to help him reconnect with, and then...
So that's what the whole world is saying, is that you need these robots to make friends. Yeah.
I feel like you're all into that message. That's why you wanted us to watch this and accept our robot overlords. And 1100111110. You know, I'm all on board. What do you think it means the city is called Nonesuch? Because I think this flows right into our conversation of, I think the movie is saying humans are, you ain't shit. You know, like that's what, when your town's called Nonesuch, Nonsuch. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but this time it stuck out to me. They're in the town of Nonesuch?
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that was the name of the whole town. I knew it was the name of the middle school.
Yeah, that's just school.
It could be the name of the whole town. I don't know what the whole town's name is. But to that point, still, it is interesting. And I think because I think a lot of people, right, I think it's illustrating extra the point of a lot of people think that value in their life and in their relationships and in their experiences have to happen with this droid, that's more exciting than just to live without them, to just live with other people. I think it's helping to create that dichotomy. You live in Nonesuch, where life is boring, people are boring, that like this is not ideal for it's just not exciting, versus you add these little droids now that can give you access to the internet, give you access to other people, film videos, play games, all that kind of stuff. Then you don't have to live in boring Nonesuch life anymore. Now you have this droid that does all the connecting for you.
Kirk doesn't like that our protagonist has a family, and he
No, I didn't say that. I said
your question
his
is-
family. I think his family is part of the problem because
his immigrant family is to blame.
I mean,
his mother being dead is to blame.
the catalyst that gives his friends to not be his friends anymore is when they set the house on fire, and you know his grandma feeds him weird food. I'm sorry, but the grandma's kind of the problem.
But they like him because
They
of
like
the
him
grandma.
later, yeah.
I see. I thought that was part of the redeeming part of this movie is that it was trying to say no. You see, what makes America great is that it has a multicultural working class.
It does.
We're
but,
bound together by our desire to, you know.
But a child is not going to get that, though.
Well, these are all propagandas with different insidious messages, and I'm
Yeah.
for the insidious message of patriotism to some degree. Of like, you know,
Patriotism to some
because
degree,
the grandma would be first generation immigrant, clearly, because making the chicken feet or whatever, and then the dad doesn't have an accent like the grandma, so because immigrant families, like in the past, I've been told, like my parents who were second or third, my adopted parents, second or third generation, their parents didn't want them to learn the language and wanted to. Not have an accent, so they assimilated, and it shows a sign of assimilation to some degree. So, and then we were talking about how everyone's bland and Nonesuch. Maybe it's saying that assimilation makes you bland. I don't know. You're blaming the family. I'm jumping onto your team now. Assimilation makes you bland. It's the family's fault. You should have stayed weird and
Well, are they
spicy.
bland? I don't think they're bland, though. They're immigrants who stick to their roots. They make, I want to say weird food, but it is kind of their food. Cooked chicken feet. I don't eat chicken feet. My parents do, yeah.
Your parents eat chicken feet?
Yeah.
Well, these were Polish people too.
I mean, anybody can eat chicken feet. What do you mean? Is that unique to Polish?
I know. I know. I don't think you're Polish, but I might.
As long as I'm not Irish, right?
What?
As long as I'm not Irish.
Correct. I have.
Because he hates the Irish.
My adopted father is Irish, so I have. I don't like the Irish.
Fair enough.
It's not. It's completely unreasonable. Do you have
But you
thoughts?
still
On,
do it.
do you want to take a stance on is the family to blame? Do you blame your family for things in your life?
I don't blame my family for things in my life.
That's good.
I mean, the family does play a large role because it's the reason why he doesn't have one, and it could be economic. You know, they talk about it all the time. They can't afford one, which, he does seem like the only boy in the school that doesn't have one. So then that's, that's interesting and maybe saying something. But I don't know. It's like, I think it is an interesting, you could approach it as like, so clearly the dad, he literally says he doesn't want his son to be addicted or attached to this digital thing.
Yeah.
But it is something that everybody else has, and it does alienate the boy. And when they do get him one, he tries to get him one and it doesn't work as expected. So I don't know, the family's trying their best, but I think it can be an interesting topic of discussion of like, yes, we can definitely value not being tied or getting addicted to technology, but if you use that to swear off the technology completely, that maybe could be detrimental.
You're against Luddites.
Oh, people who don't use technology?
You call them Luddites.
Not Amish?
Ludite. Have you ever heard of Luddite?
No.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I guess I won't go down my other topic of like, I wonder what Jonathan Haidt thought of this movie, the guy who wrote The Anxious Generation, which is about children addicted to technology and how it's hurting test scores and all that.
Gotcha.
Should we start the next segment where I complain about Zach Galifianakis because I am mad at him in movies?
Is he in this movie?
He's Ron.
He's
Oh,
the voice of
LOL.
Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's because now when I hear him as a voices in movies, it affects me. But I guess we'll save that for spoilers.
Yeah, all right. Let's show ready spoilers. See you
Sweet.
there. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.